Welcome to our team call. We're glad to have you with us this morning. Today, we get to hear from our trainer, Michael Huggins. This is a guy that is just energy unbounded. He is a fellow that is someone you want to introduce your guests to. Every guest needs to meet Michael. I was so impressed the first time I met him, and what impressed me most was really how friendly and concerned about me he was. I had heard about Michael. I was not expecting to have Michael ask me what my goals were, ask me what he could do for me. That was very impressive. And so be sure to introduce your guest to Michael whenever you get the opportunity. He is on the President's Advisory Committee. He is sought after. Heck, we can say worldwide, can't we? Because we're going to be out of the country this week and rubbing shoulders with Michael Huggins in Mexico, many of us. And wherever he goes, he is much sought after for advice. We're so glad that he's with us twice a week. And today is Money Monday with Money Michael. Good morning, sir. How are you?
Good morning, Ron. I'm loving life. Good morning, everyone else. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to Money Monday. It is a beautiful day. We're doing the countdown to regionals. And again, we are setting the standards with what's going to be happening at regionals. So I'm excited to see all of you in Salt Lake City. I got an interesting statistic for you guys. So I went back and counted. Are you guys curious how long it took me to make $1 million? I went back and counted. I was looking. I was curious. How long has it been since I've made $1 million? Well, here's what I could tell you. This is an interesting learning curve that I went through. So in January of 2011, my first year marketing, I made $3,000. $3,000, a whole whopping $3,000. Now on the real estate side, I also made $28,000. So I replaced my income. The jobs, Jiffy Lube and Sears, were replaced by marketing and real estate. Then my next year, in 2012, I earned $28,000. Then my next year, 2013, I made $53,000. And then the next year, I made, oh wait, sorry, this is 57. Then I made $83,000. Then my next year, I'm running out of space for my chart. My next year I made $193,000. And then my next year I made $383,000. Yeah, I ran out of chart room. All right, don't make fun of me, guys. I'm gonna redo this. We're trying to paint the picture of possibilities here. All right, here we go. January 2011. Michael started Renatus. $3,000. Next year, 2012. 28,000. Next year, 57,000. Next year, 83,000. So this is 2013, 2014, 2015, guys. I made $193,000. Holy crap-a-moly. Then 2016, I made 383,000. I keep getting threes. It's kind of weird, huh? $383,000? You got to be joking. $383,000. But still, if you look, 3 plus 28 plus 57 plus 86 plus 183 plus 383, that's not $1,000,000. That's 2, 6, 7, barely 8. So it wasn't until 2017, in June of 2017, that I crossed the $1,000,000 earned mark in 2017. But for the year 2017, we did $570,000. Pretty cool. So 2018, we still got a question mark. Where are we at? What are we going to hit? Now, what's cool is I went, so it took me about 6.5 years to earn my first $1,000,000. Now I'm sharing this with you because I want you guys, all of you, to do it faster than me. Some of you, too late. You spent 6.5 years dilly-dallying, and you don't get to do it faster than me. But plenty of you have been in here for a couple months, maybe a year or two, getting started. It's just fine. You got 6.5 years to make $1,000,000. Now here's what's neat. I went back and counted. Went back and looked. So from today, so we look at today, and we just count back to where is $1,000,000. Guess how long it took? I want you guys to guess. From today, counting backwards, in the last blank months equals $1,000,000. How many months do you think? And it's not 12, so sorry to burst your bubble there. But if we go back and count from today and we count backwards, in the last 18 months, Renatus has paid me $1,000,000. I've earned, collected, deposited, and put to work $1,000,000. Now, how come it took so long? Why did it take so long? To me, it felt like it took forever. And the goal is obviously to get it down to 12 months. And then the goal is to get it down to 6 months. And then the goal is to get it down to 1 month. So I'm bringing this up because there are some of you who are on a trajectory that is faster than my trajectory, right? Your first year, your second year, you're doing better than me. So I just want to show you what you're going to be doing. Now, along the way, you got to be doing newer and newer and newer things because you're turning into a newer person. You have a new income. You have a new way of looking at things and doing things. You got to be doing things differently. So what are some of those different things? Well, the one that trips up most people is their identity. Now, what do I mean when I say identity? What I mean is what you identify with. Your identity with or as something. You identify as this. You identify as that. So, first thing to address would be your identity as what you're worth. What is your value? What are you worth? What is your hourly worth? What is your monthly worth? What's your worth? What is your conversation worth? What's the worth? The other thing to identify with is a lot of people mistakenly identify with their schedule. They say, well, I'd love to do Renatus, but my schedule doesn't fit into it. And they identify with their schedule. Another thing that limits people is they identify what they like and dislike. So a lot of times people will hear, well, I got this cool company. It's called Renatus. Now I get to do what I like. Right? I'm telling you I get to do what I like. And so a lot of people are like, okay, well, I'm going to join this company and I'm only going to do what I like. And I'm going to avoid what I dislike. But if you keep identifying with likes and dislikes, then you're going to have a limited identity. This is the challenge. Most people are walking around with a limited identity. They say, I'm capable of this, I'm capable of that, I like this, I like that. But what we're looking for is to smash that limited identity. That limited identity brought you to Renatus. It brought you to the ad. It brought you to the opportunity or to the meeting. Your limited opportunity or your limited identity got you this far. Now, what we need to start identifying as is some new possibilities, right? Isn't that what being a human means? Being a human means unlimited possibilities. Isn't that what that means? So you're here taking this training, building this business to create something new. So instead of identifying with this stuff, let's identify with what is necessary. Now, I'm pretty sure I spelled necessary right. It's been one of those words that I've been trying to get right for so long. And I'm identifying as an incredible speller. Okay, so what do I mean when we say identify? Let's identify with what is necessary. No more likes or dislikes. What's necessary to build a business? What's necessary to build a better life? What's necessary to have a better conversation with somebody? Let's identify with what's necessary, not on what we like or dislike. Okay, or what's convenient. How many people identify with what's convenient versus what's not convenient? Okay. Gosh, I don't know. There's I want to say 50 things all at once. We got to say it in order. Okay, so let's see here. Okay, so here you are. Here you are. This is you. You're sitting. You're on a chair. You got a nice cushion on your chair. Okay, you're sitting on your chair, chilling. And what I want you to, we want to break up this pattern, the pattern of your results. We want to create a new pattern of results for you. So where does everything start? Everything starts in the mind. Okay, everything starts in your mind. Now don't identify as your mind. Just know that your possibilities start in the mind. Okay? So everything that we're going to be talking about today, I want to help you go back to this chart, this growth chart that I was on, because it all had to start in my mind. So now here we are. You're sitting in your chair, right? Maybe you're at work, maybe you're driving, whatever. If you're driving, you don't get to do this. But if you're just sitting, you're just chilling, you're catching the recording. All right, let's take a minute and let's remember that our reality starts in our mind. And whatever we want to accomplish, whatever we want to bring into reality also starts in the mind. Okay. Well, how many people have their mind doing what they want? Not that many. Most people, their mind is working against them because they're telling them limits. They're telling them, you're no good at this, you're no good at that, you can't this, what do you think about that? And their mind isn't really helpful for them. So what we're going to do is we're going to use a technique to start creating some different results. Okay? One of the major results that we need to see happen if you really want to start to accelerate your income. Let's talk about, okay, so you're sitting in you're sitting here, you're chilling, you got a nice smile on your face. Okay. Now the first thing you're going to be thinking about, you're going to be doing some visualization, some casting of some thoughts. First thing first, what I want you to be thinking about is in the next 2 to 3 months, what do you want to accomplish? Talking about accomplishments. In the next 2 to 3 months, what would you like to accomplish? Now, I'm going to suggest, may I make a suggestion about what to accomplish in the next 2 to 3 months? I'm going to make a suggestion. And you're going to, when it comes to the possibilities and everything that's open to you, don't argue with it. We're going to figure out how. You are going to attend a regionals. Some of you have already decided, perfect, I'm in. But some of you go, Michael, you don't know my schedule. You don't know about my bank account. You don't know about this. You don't know about that. All I got to say is blah, 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 blah. If you really want to create your life, you're not going to defend limits. Okay, what do we know about limits? We know that if you argue for your limitations, guess what? Guess what you get to do with those limitations? You get to keep them. If you argue for your limitations, you get to keep them. We're trying to get away from limitations. So some of you have built up a pattern where you think arguing is going to get you out of something. Or some of you built up a pattern where when you bring up your limits, you get out of something. That doesn't work with me. It doesn't work with reality. We want to create something new, so we're not even going to entertain limits. We're not going to entertain that. We're not going to argue for our limits. I'm telling you, you need to be at a regionals. Now, how do we get there? Right now, this gap from where you are in your understanding to you being at a regionals, and remember they start in September, so the second week of September, and they move all the way through to the first week of November. Okay? So I prefer you come to the Salt Lake City regionals, which is September 21st and 22nd for SLC. That's my preference because that's where I'll be. But obviously, it doesn't matter which one you go to because Bob Snyder will be at all of them. Scott Rowe will be at all of them. Woody Woodward will be at all of them. Okay, so the next 2 to 3 months, you need to be at a regionals. This is skill development. We could go into there's a million reasons, 1 million reasons, 1 million whys, why you should go. 1 million reasons. I have a million reasons for you to go. Do we need to talk about all the reasons? Or can we just talk about how to get there and what to do and what to expect? So here you are, you're sitting there thinking about your life and your possibilities, right? You go, man, am I really doing what I want to be doing with my life? Is this Is this it? What should I be doing with my life? What should I be doing with my summer? What should I be doing with my fall? And now this is the mental landscape. We call this the mindscape, where you start to just see yourself clearly accomplishing what we're after. See yourself at the regionals, whichever one you want to go to. See yourself there. Okay, when you're looking out 2 to 3 months, you got the mindscape, right? You're closing your eyes. Are you thinking about your bills? Are you thinking about that letter in the mail? Are you thinking about your boss? Right? When you close your eyes and you're thinking about taking control of your life, next 2 to 3 months, every time you wake up, this is what you're going to do, is you're going to see yourself at a regional event. You're going to see yourself in the, you're going to see yourself sitting in the audience. You're going to see yourself at the awards banquet, right? You're going to see yourself, okay, you'll be in the audience. You'll be at the awards banquet. You'll be taking the classes. Okay, you'll be doing the networking. You're going to go to the dinners afterwards. You're going to have guests there. Your guests are going to want to enroll. You're going to get paid. Okay, you're starting to visualize these things, right? You're going to be wearing some nice clothes. Okay, it doesn't have to be expensive clothes. Just put on a tie. Stop at the Goodwill if you need to. That's what I had to do at the beginning. Got a $15 suit. Rocked it for a year. Okay, so you're seeing yourself daily. Up until that point, you're seeing yourself there. You're seeing yourself. Are you flying in or are you driving in? Right? What kind of transportation are you taking? Are you going to be sleeping on someone's couch? Or are you staying at a hotel? You're staying at an Airbnb. What is your lodging going to be like? Are you sleeping in your car? I don't care. There's no judging here. What's more important is that you get to the meeting than where you sleep. Some of you sleep in your car. Cool. Go for it. It'll add to your story. So daily is the key. Every day when you wake up, before you turn on your phone, and if this is the first thing you wake up to, that's cool, but you're missing the point. Wake up a half hour earlier and go into your mindscape. Right? We got the landscape and we got the mindscape. We need to be working in our mind more. So be seeing yourself at the regionals. If someone wouldn't mind typing in the regional schedule, we got some questions coming up in the chat room. Just put in the regional schedule. That would be awesome. Okay, so if everything starts in the mind, everything that we accomplish is in the mind, wouldn't it make sense to spend more time visualizing what we want to create, what we want to bring into reality? Right? Before anything is a part of our reality, it first happened in our mind. Now, some of you don't understand that your fear is something that is only a possibility for you because fear is happening in your mind. Right? If you're afraid to talk to a customer, you're afraid of upgrading to the combo, you're afraid of taking a trip out of your city to a different city, all those fears you manufactured. So that's from neglect. Now we need to do something on purpose. There you go. Look at all these people helping. We got Atlanta, SLC, Sacramento, Southern Cal. There's a couple more. So some of you need to go to more than one because you need to catch up. I have been in Renatus for 7 years, right, going on my 8th year, but I've been to 11 regionals. I've been to more regionals than years I've been in. So some of you need to play catch up and do more. Now, again, you're thinking, how am I going to do this? Look at my paycheck. Look at my schedule. Look at my this. Look at my that. And you're still trying to figure out the how. And that's not really of your making. What I want you to be doing, because it all starts in the mind. Everything starts in the mind. Instead of the how, we're going to put in our mind the what. What do we want? In the next 2 to 3 months, what do we want to bring in to our reality and to our possibilities? That's you attending. Now, you attending, if you're already planning on going before this call, and you're like, yeah, I'm already in, then great. What are you going to do to enhance your experience there? Right? What are you going to do? Are you going to have a guest there, or are you just going to be visiting in that city to be a visitor? Why not be a business builder? Right? How are you going to spend more time with your mentors, with your trainers, with the people there? So you're sitting, you're visualizing, you're working on what you're seeing, working. Now, after that, I want you to be thinking and bring into your mindscape, what is something you're going to be doing that you want to accomplish, that you want to make real in the next 2 to 3 years? In the next 2 to 3 years, what do you plan on accomplishing? What are you going to bring into your reality? What do you see as necessary? Right? We're talking about what's necessary, not what we like and dislike, but what's necessary. So you'll be sitting again, you'll be closing your eyes, close your eyes, and think, okay, over the next 2 to 3 years, right? Take some deep breaths. In the next 2 to 3 years, okay, so we're looking at 2019, 2020, 2021. Where am I going to be in 24 months to 36 months, right? 2 years is 100 weeks. 100 to 150 weeks. Now think about that. If you only get 2 weeks of vacation every 50 weeks, right, we got to change our lives. So now we're thinking, okay, the next 2 to 3 years. Next 2 to 3 years, where do I want to be? Using this company, using this training, using this opportunity, using the community and the network and the technology. Where am I going to be 2 to 3 years from now? Well, one of the things I suggest that people bring into their mind, and again, it's you got to see yourself clearly doing this. Seeing yourself clearly in the next 2 to 3 years. In the next 2 to 3 years, where do you see yourself? Everyone's going to be different. If you're having a hard time bringing up an image, bringing up a reality that you want to make real in the next 2 to 3 years, right? Some of you might be confused about next week. So 2 to 3 years might be hard. And again, that's why you need to do this exercise, because you've been neglecting, creating your future, and you're just doing day by day stuff. So 2 to 3 years, where do you see yourself? Here's what I would recommend you at least manifest in your mind: 5 sources of income. Now, in our networks, that's pretty easy because we're dealing with real estate. So 5 rental properties, a 5-plex, or 5 seller finance notes, or 5 lease options, or 5 maybe if you write a book, right? I got a royalty check, so now I have another source of income. 5 sources of income. They can be from the same thing called real estate. But I want you to see yourself benefiting, see your family, see your retirement account, see your community benefiting from the hard work that you did. Right? You're building up right now. That money's coming to you. And it's coming to you not just because you want it, but it's coming to you because you're taking classes, you're taking steps. Okay? So in those 2 to 3 years, what else, in order to get that money, do you see yourself doing? Right? When you're closing your eyes and you're thinking, all right, over the next 2 to 3 years, what am I going to accomplish? Do you know what you're going to accomplish? All of your classes. Right? How often do people think, well, I only have a half hour, so I'll just put on some YouTube. And they make up an excuse about, well, watching all my classes, I really want to, and they come back to this likes and dislikes, and they identify, well, I'm a student, I've been a student before, and my student preferences identify as a student, I gotta have all this time, and I gotta have a notebook, and no one can bother me, and it's gotta be quiet, right? We make all these silly rules about this limited identity about how we could be a student. Well, I like to watch classes at night, and I like to this, and I like to that, and I like to, or I don't like watching classes on weekdays. I got school in the morning, or this or that, whatever. Do what's necessary, not what you like or dislike. So some of you are not watching your classes because you decided that you're this type of student, you're that type of student, and you're wasting time. You're working against yourself. So doing what's necessary, not what you prefer. So as we're starting to think more, all right, in 2 to 3 years, what else do I want to bring in? What else am I going to accomplish? I'm going to watch all of your classes, right? The next 2 to 3 years. Again, you're going to add other stuff to this, but what I want to help you see is 5 sources of income. Okay? Then the next thing, and then we'll end on this exercise and then do a Q&A. The next thing is we got 2 to 3 months, 2 to 3 years, and then we have what we're going to be looking at next is 10 to 15 years. 10 to 15 years out. Now it's interesting, and some of you guys are guilty of it. Let this be the last year you're guilty of it. But some of you that are coming to the Leaders Retreat have spent more time planning this trip, right? Sitting on the computer, packing, looking at what to do, where to go, how to spend your 5 days there. Some of you have spent more time planning your trip than you have been planning your life, your 2018, in your next decade, right? This is an observation that Jim Rohn made about people in our country 45 years ago. People spend more time planning their vacation than they do planning their life. Not us. Not us. Vacation is just a part of it. We're going to spend plenty of time planning our life. So in the next 10 to 15 years, now, what do you see yourself accomplishing? And the more inclusive, the better. The more inclusive, the better. What I mean by that is, like, who are you bringing along? Who are you supporting? Right? More than just you and your family. What about your neighborhood, your city, your state, your country, the world? What are you doing to be the most inclusive in the next 10 to 15 years? So one of the easiest things, one of the functional material things that we'll be getting in the next 10 to 15 years is another 10 income sources. Right? They could be fourplexes, they could be land development, they could be commercial, doesn't matter. I'm just drawing houses. But now if you have 10 houses, 10 things paying you every month, when you figure this stuff out, moving beyond the money is going to be so much fun. You got this big, nice money pool, right? This big reservoir. You got so much money that you don't even think about money anymore. You want to be thinking about other things. Being more inclusive. How can I help more people? Right? There are plenty of people out there in poverty, and it's a lot of times it's self-imposed poverty because of how they're thinking about their limits. So in the next 10 to 15 years, how old are you going to be? What else do you want to accomplish? What do you want to be known for? And make this a part of your visualization, right? Please, like I said, in the 10 to 15 years, include the world. Why not? Include the world in what you're trying to create. Being a better version of yourself, cleaning up the place, right? Reduce, reuse, recycle, all sorts of stuff. Okay, so 2 to 3 months, I'm telling you, make it attending a regionals. You're going to have to, this is going to, for some of you, it's going to be the hardest thing you've done in years because you've been so used to a pattern. You've been so used to people listening to your reasons and your justifications of why you can't go, why your life is hard, why this, why that, why you don't have any money for this, why you don't have any money for that. And we're going to smash those limits. I'm going to smash those limits. So I know some people only like to wake up when it's just the right time to get up. But what we've learned over the last decade of high achievers, especially in this country, but all around the world, high achievers get up before everyone else. But then what the heck are they doing? What are they doing when they wake up? This is what they're doing. They're visualizing their life. They're putting a plan of action together so that they can stop wondering and start working. This is it right here. Some of you are so good at working hard for others, but you won't sit down and work in your mind. Okay, this is the mindscape work. This is the real work. This is what's been working for me this whole time. Every time I think of something new I want to accomplish, I work really hard to stay away from my limits and from those identities of my likes, my preferences, and I really want to just focus on what's necessary, what's most important to accomplish the task. So 20 minutes. This takes 20 minutes. Now 20 minutes over time, because we know what happens in our mindscape happens in reality. We know this. If you start doing this for 20 minutes every day, getting up a little bit early, just sitting there, don't worry about eating. I know some of you think, well, as soon as I wake up, and you go back into your identity, well, as soon as I wake up, don't you know, as soon as I wake up, I got to do this and this and this and this. Well, do what's necessary. And this is what we're focused on. What is necessary? Well, what is most necessary right now is that you get a clear image of what's going on in your head. That is what's necessary. Because right now, if you're not liking, like think about that. When you got invited to the regionals, if you got invited to the leaders retreat and you didn't go, the only reason you didn't go is because in your mindscape, you created a reality where you don't get to go. And the people who did, who are going, they made sure that in their mindscape, all their thoughts led to that reality. That's what they're going to be doing what's necessary. So here's how I would recommend it. Get up 20 minutes early, or you stay up 20 minutes late. I don't care if you do it when you wake up or before you go to bed. Ideally, both. And then we sit down, take a deep breath, 3 deep breaths, relax into it, and say, all right, in the next 2 to 3 months, what do I want to accomplish? And then you see yourself clearly doing that. In the next 2 to 3 years, what do I want to accomplish? And then in the next 10 to 15 years, what do I want to be accomplishing? Obviously, money, obviously, that's why you're part of this company. But money will be fixed very quickly if you fix your work habits, your work patterns. I'm going to venture that maybe 5 to 10% of you have legitimate conflicts about why you can't attend the regionals. But the likelihood of your conflict impeding on all the regionals all across the country for 2 months straight, I don't know, man. If that's the case, you're probably neglecting a few other things. So what we're saying here is, I'm telling you, get to a regionals. Then that little part of your brain says, but, and then you got to go back and say, we got to work on this, but we got to work on moving past our limits. How am I going to get to my regional event? Do I need to carpool? Do I need to start saving up money right now? Do I need to get a sleeping bag? Do I need to ride the bus, right? The Greyhound bus. You can get a rental car. You can pitch in with some people. You can hitchhike. You can couch surf. If you need to ball on a budget, some of you have zero money in your bank account, but you got a 401k with 10 grand in it. Go take a loan from yourself for $1,000 and build your business. Rent a car, get registered for regionals, take this thing seriously. Instead of entertaining your limits, think about how. Maybe you need to go raise some capital. Go ask 5 friends for $100. They'll pay you back in a year. I'm building a business. I'll pay you back in a month, whatever. But go and ask for some money. Go raise some capital for your next business venture, which is getting to the regionals. When you see yourself accomplishing that and you actually accomplish it, you're going to go up in such a way, your confidence is going to go up in such a way that you'll never turn back. You got this momentum and you're going to be on a scale that's unstoppable. And soon you'll make the millions that you're after. These millions aren't just reserved for me and a couple other folks in this company. It's just that what's happening in our mindscape is lining up with what we're trying to accomplish. What we want, what we visualize, and what's necessary, it's all becoming aligned. Now, I remember at the beginning of my entrepreneur career, hearing people talk about alignment, right? You got to get this into alignment and that into alignment. And I wasn't really quite sure what that meant at the time, but now it's getting more clear to me. It's where your intention, right? Your energy, your thoughts, your desires are all headed and pointed in one direction. Okay, if you keep thinking, I just want to be comfortable, right? I just want to work. I want to build a life where I'm comfortable. Well, most people have that. Their level of comfort, right? They get to sit in air conditioning. How many hours a day? Right? They can walk into a grocery store and food from all over the planet is right there in one little store, all over the planet, right? And you drove a car there. Even if you rode the bus there, you didn't have to walk. There's so many things where you're comfortable, and so you're manifesting comfort and you're getting comfort. You got YouTube, you got your cable TV, you got unlimited internet on your phone. You're comfortable. Don't make comfortable a goal. Okay? That plays back into limits and a limited identity where you say, I'm only, right? How many people do that with their limited identity? Well, what do you expect from me? I'm only 2 years into this. I'm only this old. I'm only this seasoned. I'm only this educated. I'm only human. I'm only one person. I'm only this. Don't give in to limits. Remember, any limit that you argue, any limitation you argue for, you get to keep. So if you keep saying, I'm only this, I'm only that, you're identifying with something small. You don't want limited identities. And how do we work on our identities? Is we sit down, put some headphones in, put some earplugs in, or sit in a loud place. It doesn't matter. Honestly, it doesn't matter where you sit. But you need to spend a few minutes on 2 to 3 months, spend a few minutes on 2 to 3 years, and a few minutes on 10 to 15 years where you want to be. All happens in the mindscape. We're trying to shed this old shell. You showed up as this type of person with this limited identity, and you get to work inside of our company, which this company is so incredible, guys. So incredible. This company is so incredible, but some of you are going to skip it because your work, but you hate your job. You hate it. You want to get away from it, but you defend it like it's your life source. But really, I'm telling you, there's so many other sources. This is America. There's technically no source. You are the source. This is America. You make money out of thin air by being valuable. You build businesses, change ideas, accomplish different things, solve problems. So when we say, hey, time to come to regionals, guys, we'll see you around the country, and you go, but I have to work. I have to go to this job. Then you start to defend that. Whatever you defend is what you get to keep. So if you go tell your job, I got to go to this regionals. I got to go out of town. I got to go to this conference. I got to go. I'm going. And you start to defend the possibilities that are here, then you get to create what's in here. But if you keep defending your job, then you get to keep that. How long do you want to keep that for? It's hard, but it's also worth it. It's hard. When I say hard, I mean it's hard to reconcile both. It's hard to be 100% at your job. I know there's people relying on you, and it's hard to be 100% in Renatus because there's other people relying on you. The key in reconciling these challenges, if you're being tugged in two different directions, is to look and see which possibility is creating limits, which decision when I'm making it is going to go towards more limits or go towards unlimited. Okay, take a deep breath. Get to the regionals, get to the training, follow the schedule. The turmoil and the tug that you're having right now, if you follow the plan, you start making the money you want, controlling the schedule you want, getting the assets you want, having the education and knowledge that you want, there won't be this conflict next year. There won't be a conflict next year. The conflict is right now because you've neglected. And so, okay, have the conflict, figure it out, grow from it, and let's not repeat the same mistakes. Right? It's going to be the same thing in March when we say, hey, it's time to do regionals. It's time to come to regionals. Nationals. It's time to come to nationals in March. And some of you are going to go, but I have to work, but this, but that, but. But you know it's coming. So what are we going to do now? Put that into your visualization. In the next 2 to 3 years, I will be at every nationals. In the next 2 to 3 years, I will visit the top 10 most productive cities in Renatus because I'm going to be the most productive. It's a new world, entrepreneurship. If you'd like a book in the Audible that's really helpful for this mental struggle back and forth, what can I create versus what I'm identifying with now versus what unlimited possibilities I want to create. It's an incredible book. It's about 5 hours. It's by Darren Hardy. It's called The Entrepreneur Roller Coaster. Entrepreneur Roller Coaster. Entrepreneur Roller Coaster by Darren Hardy. This one right here.
This is Audible.
This is going to explain what's going on in your head. Why now is the time to join the ride, baby. Oh, it's 7 hours. It's a 7-hour book. But if you're brand new to entrepreneurship, this is one of the things you're going to have to work out. So spend that time. Sit down, ask yourself, what do I want to accomplish in the next 2 to 3 months, 2 to 3 years, and 10 to 15 years? All right, guys, I got to hop on the Pat call. It's time to transition, work on your goals. Do this in the morning, do this tonight, and don't neglect to do it. Remember, there is quite a sliding scale that's possible for you. Quite the scale. Okay, I went from 6.5 years to 18 months making $1 million. It's possible for me, then it's possible for you. Stay focused, guys. Thanks for being here. Money Monday. Muriel, I want you to reach out to James and Lisa Lease. Just send them a message on Facebook or look up their number in the calendar, and you'll see them there to find out the info. Good stuff. Did everyone grab the dates and the link? Everyone's got the link right here for Utah Regionals. Remember, don't worry about the Sacramento Regionals. What you just so worried about, man? The Utah Regionals is going to be better. Just saying. All right, guys. Have a fantastic Money Monday. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.